Isn't the blunt truth, when you read all of this report, that a fair-minded person reading it would conclude that, I mean, to be crude, that you're a nightmare to work for?
Well, actually, almost all of the complaints against me were dismissed. And what this doesn't give you, it's a handful of very senior officials. None of the junior complaints were upheld. And I got on and dealt with hundreds of civil servants, thousands of other people in prison service and the court service. And what you've got is the risk here of a very small minority of very activist civil servants with the passive-aggressive culture of the civil service, who don't like some of the reforms, whether it's Brexit, whether it's parole reform, whether it's human rights reform, effectively trying to block government. That's not on, that's not democratic.
Activist civil servants, that's quite an allegation for people who are committed to being impartial. You're saying there's people there who are standing in the way of an elected government?
Oh, I was told that by one cabinet secretary and by one Director of Propriety and Ethics in the Cabinet Office, which brings...
Did you witness that? Did you see work that you thought from civil servants was effectively, as you describe it, activist?
No, so that wasn't the description that I gave. I said that if you've got particularly activist civil servants who, either because they're overly unionised or just don't agree with what we're trying to pursue, we've seen a bit of that with Brexit, we've seen it with human rights reform, with my parole reform. There's a little bit of cultural, if you like, aversion. If actually they can block reforms or changes through a rather passive-aggressive approach, we can't deliver for the British people, and that's not the balance that should be struck between getting great advice for the thousands of fantastic civil servants we've got, but also allowing ministers to be responsible to the public for what we deliver.
Does some senior civil servant